Hi everybody, we are Valentina and Auri, and we are going to talk about population increase. So the name of our presentation is Population Growth, a Population Explosion. A new United Nations report, the world's population is expected to increase by 2 billion people over the next 30 years. Because if you look at the graph, from 7.7 billion today to 9.7 billion in 2050. The study concludes that the world's population could peak by the end of the current century at a level of almost 11 billion. In the graph, we can see that the increase is a constant that has been maintained over the years. About the new population projection, it indicates that 9 countries will make up more than half the projected of the global population between now and 2050. India, Nigeria, Pakistan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, the United Republic of Tanzania, Indonesia, Egypt, and the United States of America. Around 2027, India is projected to overtake China as the world's most populous country. And the population of Africa is projected to double by 2050. Now it's important to talk about migration. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another. Migration can be within a country or between countries. Migration can be permanent, temporary, or seasonal. Some of the largest migratory outflows are driven by a demand for migrant workers, Bangladesh, Nepal, or Philippines, or by violence, insecurity, and armed conflict. Syria or Venezuela, Estonia, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Russia, Serbia will experience a net inflow of migrants over the decade, helping to offset population losses caused by an excess of death over births. Since the beginning of humanity, migration has provided more opportunities for humans. For example, in 2019, the number of international migrants was about 2 million. That is almost 3% of the world population. Asia hosts the largest number of international migrants, but in recent years, Africa has seen the fastest growth. Most international migration continues to occur between countries in the same geographic area. Mm, Population movement are due to many reasons, including war, education, family, yet more and more people are leaving their home and communities, fleeing violence, persecution, deprivation, or disaster, particularly due to climate change. But what is the cause of the global overpopulation? There are a number of factors that allow this spectacular population increase. First, decrease in the death rate mainly thanks to medicine. The Industrial Revolution brought with it the revolution in the world of the medicine. Scientific advance made it possible from this time on. They overcome diseases that until then had been feared by necessity. The invention of vaccine and the discovery of antibiotics such as penicillin saved thousands of lives and are the key factor in the excessive population increase. Thus, as the number of annual death, diseases, and the number of births remain constant, the population increase. Second one, progress in food production. Scientific research and technological improvement made it possible to improve agricultural production. Mm, Crops throughout the year, more resistant seeds, pesticides, improvement in fishing and livestock techniques also contribute the more food to feed the population. The last one, migration and urban concentration. In certain countries, the impact of migration and population accumulation in cities has been very relevant, but not only with regard to population increase, but also with regard to the generation of wealth. Currently, more than half of the world's population live in cities with more than 300,000 inhabitants. Cities that are expected to continue to increase in number and reach 70% of the population.
Now, the problems of population increase are many, most also caused by the consequences of climate change or by the exploitation of resources by human beings. Here are some of them. Overuse of resources. Rapid population growth tends to overuse the country's natural resources. Rapid population growth leads to the overuse of land, thereby endangering the welfare of future generations. Rapidly increasing population makes it difficult to invest in roads, public services, and other agriculture infrastructure needed to tap such resources. Urbanization. With rapidly growing population, it becomes difficult to manage the adjustments that accompany economic and social change. Urbanization creates such problems as housing, power, water, transport, etc. Besides, growing population threatens permanent environmental damage through urbanization in some rural areas. Per capita income. The effect of population growth on per capita income is unfavorable. The growth of population tends to retard the per capita income in three ways. One, it increases the pressure of population on land. Two, it leads to rise in cost of consumption goods because of the scarcity of cooperant factors to increase their supplies. And three, it leads to a decline in the accumulation of capital because with increase in family members, expenses increase. Environmental damage. Scarcity of land due to rapidly increasing population pushes large number of people to ecologically sensitive areas such as hillsides and tropical forests. It leads to overgrazing and cutting of forests for cultivation, leading to severe environmental damage. Moreover, the pressure of rapid growth of population forces people to obtain more food for themselves and their livestock. As a result, they overcultivate the semi-arid areas. This leads to desertification over the long run when land stops yielding anything. Rapid population growth leads to the migration of large numbers to urban areas with industrialization. This results in severe air, water, and noise pollution in cities and towns. Employment. A rapidly increasing population plunges the economy into mass unemployment. As population increases, the proportion of workers to total population rises. But in the absence of complementary resources, it is not possible to expand jobs. The result is that with the increase in labor force, unemployment increases, and rapidly increasing population reduce incomes, savings, and investments. Thus, capital formation is retarded and job opportunities are reduced, thereby increasing unemployment. Social infrastructure. Rapidly growth in population necessitates large investments in social infrastructure and diverse resources from directly produced assets. Due to the scarcity of resources, it is not possible to provide educational, health, medical, transport, and housing facilities to the entire population. There is overcrowding everywhere. As a result, the quality of these services goes down. To provide this social infrastructure requires huge investments.